Hi, my name is Sean Batum. I'm a recording arts student at Full Sail University, and in today's podcast, I'm going to be discussing Christopher Thomas. Chris Thomas's impact on modern music is as wide as it is quiet. I like to think of Chris as the stealthy ninja of heavyweight producers. He goes in there and does an incredible job, but no one really knows who he is. Chris has worked on some of the biggest and most historical albums of all time. The guy got his start on the White Album. I mean, that says it right there. From there, he continued to work with the Beatles. He's worked with John Cale. He mixed The Dark Side of the Moon. He's worked with Paul McCartney on Wings. He's worked with the Sex Pistols. And he's worked with Elton John. This guy has really been there and done that. And his influence is as prevalent as any of the music off these records. And, you know, even though you may not give him the same notoriety as you would maybe Quincy Jones, but, I mean, this guy's fingerprint is embedded within the radio waves forever. And he definitely deserves a lot more notoriety than he gets. Chris Thomas's influence on the recording industry is much different than I would say for other producers. His arrangements are amazing. He can write incredible music. He's probably got enough ideas to write gold records forever. But the thing that truly makes him different is the diversity that he's had throughout his career as far as who he's worked with. I mentioned earlier who he worked with. I mean, he started with the Beatles, the golden boys of the 60s, and worked with the Sex Pistols. He's worked with John Cale. And I mean, when you really get down to it, these are all very different acts, especially when he eventually worked with Elton John. And it's really amazing that he's been able to go from one to the other and just succeed, and it really shows how good he actually is. And I think a lot of people should look towards that more than they do, and realize it's not just about one particular project that he's did. It's not just about the mix that he did on Dark Side of the Moon. It's not just about the Helter Skelter session. It's about what he's able to do in a whole, and I think people should definitely strive towards that. One of the reasons Chris should be followed much more closely is probably the same reason why he's not that popular, and that is his lack of self-promotion. I'm not saying that that's a good thing and that's the way most of us should go. Promoting yourself is obviously very important. But I think it deserves a closer look at the fact that this guy was able to land some of the biggest gigs in the history of music and did not promote himself at all, really. And that really says something about his ability not only to do what he does, and that's make great records, but his ability to network. I mean, he got every job based on word of mouth. People knew that he was good, and they knew who he was and who he worked with. So I think as up-and-coming industry professionals, we should definitely focus not just on, obviously, what they can do and listen to their records and, try to figure out how they did it, but also figure out how they got to where they are outside of their abilities. And I definitely think that's something that's very important to the success of some of the biggest producers ever. Chris Thomas's impression on me has two components. First of all, his work on all these major projects, the White Album and basically creating the Sex Pistols. I mean, this is all material that I've been listening to for as long as I can remember, and it's all had a huge impact in the way that I write and listen to music. So he's definitely influenced me in that way. And another thing that I definitely respect him for is just his ability to seamlessly work in so many different genres. I mean, he can go from doing work with the Sex Pistols and then he went and did Wingspan. I mean, I definitely respect him for that, and that's really something I strive for, is to have an open mind and be able to work and be successful in many different genres.